Hey, Mario Lopez here, and I really hope you can check out my new podcast, Listen to Mario LTM. Definitely a side of me that you've never seen before. So please listen and follow on the iHeartRadio app or subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts.
This story is based on true events. The names and events were altered slightly to protect the guilty. Have you ever heard the movie You've Got Mail? It came out in the late 90s. It's about two people meeting online. One owns a little bookstore. The other owns that large corporate bookstore. Not knowing who the other is, they begin an anonymous internet romance, oblivious to the other's identity. It stars Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan. It's a classic romantic comedy that people loved. A Hollywood script that's just too perfect to be real. And like most things in Hollywood, none of it was. It was a work of fiction. For a Canadian man named Gil, meeting someone online was not fiction. It was real. And it started in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Gil met a girl on Plenty of Fish. She was blonde, blue eyes, attractive, and after talking to her for a few days, she said that they should meet up that Friday, October 3rd, 2008. So they set a date, and she sent him step-by-step directions and instructed him to enter through the garage. When Gil arrived, he saw that the garage door was open a third of the way. So he climbed under the door to meet her. It was dark as night, and suddenly a blue light. It was a stun gun.
He was towering over me, wearing this hockey mask. The hockey mask is what scared me the most, because obviously right when you see that, it was obviously no date. We're just both standing there looking at each other, and that's when he pulls out this gun.
Gil was pushed to the ground.
If I died right then and there, no one would know what happened to me.
His eyes and wrists were duct taped, and at this point, it's either fight or die. And Gil decided that today wasn't the day to die. He was somehow able to get loose, peeled the duct tape off his mouth, and made that risky choice to lunge at the masked man and grab the gun.
It was the greatest feeling I ever felt, because the gun was plastic.
The man furiously started hitting Gil on the temple. Blow after blow, Gil took steps backwards until he saw his opportunity. He took one more step backwards, fell to the ground, and started rolling. He rolled right out the door.
Rolled under the garage door, and I was outside. And my legs wouldn't work. Now I'm crawling down this unpaved gravel driveway. He comes out after me, and he grabs my legs, and he starts pulling me back to the garage.
Gil's legs were exhausted from the struggle and the pain of the stun gun, but he was still somehow able to get away. He ran into an alley, jumped into his car, and sped home, locking the door behind himself, deleting his profile. A few hours later, he received an anonymous email stating if he said a word, he would be dead. A week later, on Friday, October 10th, a computer expert named Johnny tells his friend about a date he had planned to go on with a girl he met online. He's supposed to meet her that night at 7 p.m. Johnny arrives a few minutes early and tells a friend via text that she wants him to walk in through the garage. Friends contact him later that night to ask about that date, and there's no response. A day later, Johnny's friends start receiving bizarre emails explaining that he was madly in love and the woman he had met was taking him on a vacation to Costa Rica. Johnny's friends knew that this was wrong. Concerned, they broke into his house and discovered his passport. There's no way he could travel to Costa Rica without a passport. So friends went to police, who searched flight records. They checked the parking garages at the airport. One of Johnny's friends stepped forward and said that Johnny had shared the directions the woman online had given him for their date. So police followed the directions to a garage on the south side of Edmonton, which is when a twist more surprising than anything you'd see in a movie took place. What police found in that garage, even Hollywood couldn't write. Find out what it was next on Murder Monday. Johnny Altinger was looking for love online. He had connected with a woman on the website Plenty of Fish and planned to meet her in person for the very first time on Friday, October 10th, 2008. But then he went missing. And unbeknownst to anyone, the Friday before, another man named Gil had also met a woman online and went to the exact same garage where he was attacked. He was able to get away, but fearing for his life, never reported the incident. Friends and family of Johnny knew something was wrong when he emailed saying he was going to Costa Rica, which none of his friends believed for a moment. And luckily, One of his friends had the directions for where the date was supposed to take place, and when police arrived, they were surprised at what they found. Neighbors say that it was being used as a movie set. They had flyers from the film's producer and director, Mark Twitchell. Twitchell was an up-and-coming director and producer that was known for his sci-fi work. The flyers he had handed out to the neighbors informed people to not be alarmed if they heard strange noises coming from the garage he rented. Mark had used that garage to shoot a short film with several of his friends. The film was about a man who was lured from an internet dating website to a garage where a killer was waiting. It was called House of Cards. No joke, look it up. Once in the garage in the movie, the unsuspecting was attacked by a sadistic killer that binds him to a table and murders him with a butcher knife. The set had been set up like a kill room, much like the scene from the TV series Dexter, which just happened to be Twitchell's favorite TV show. In the center of the garage was a heavy metal table the size of a pool table. The table was covered and surrounded by plastic sheets. By the time police arrived, most of the movie props had been cleaned and removed. Police spoke to Mark Twitchell about the movie and if he knew anything about the missing man.
There's something else I want to tell you, Mark, and that's that there's absolutely no doubt in my mind that you're involved in the disappearance of John Altinger.
Why?
While they interrogated Mark, they checked his car where they found his laptop and a sticky note. In the recycling bin on the laptop, they found a 42-page manuscript titled SK Confession. It read, "This story is based on true events. The name and events were altered slightly to protect the guilty. This is the story of my progression into becoming a serial killer." The manuscript was about a normal person turning into a serial killer, and like Mark, the narrator was a married man with an 8-month-old baby. Talked about creating numerous fake accounts on dating websites, the botched execution of a man who sounded just like Gil, and the successful murder and disposal into a nearby gutter of a man who sounded just like Johnny. It even alluded to the fact that he was planning on killing a new victim each Friday. And the yellow sticky note found in Mark Twitchell's car was a reminder to clean the kill room. A short time after his arrest, investigators returned to the garage with Mark in handcuffs.
Hey, Mark, are we beating a dead horse here, or are you going to tell us where the body is? Simple question, Mark. Can't you answer that? I think we've been pretty decent with you. You can at least give us an answer on that.
After a month of testimony and evidence, which included DNA being found in Twitchell's car and clothing, as well in a nearby gutter, the jury deliberated for 5 hours and found Mark Twitchell guilty of first-degree murder.
What's interesting, we pull up to all these people today beside red lights, and they have no idea what you've just done. That you're the guy that wanted to be a serial killer but got caught on his first kill. No idea. Kind of ironic.
This podcast is supported by Oasis, a Paychex company. Oasis helps small and medium-sized businesses to simplify back-office complexities like payroll, benefits, HR, and compliance. With Oasis, you can continue to run your business fearlesly. Learn more at oasisadvantage.com/podcast.